Alright guys, Gilliam here, back with more Twin Mirror, continuing on. Also listening to a Tyrion Armstrong stream from like a week ago. Just because I kinda would like to get a sense of how the stocks in the stock watch, or it doesn't really matter, or last week, but
it's gonna be a slow rise, it's not gonna be a quick one.
Get like what his opinion on the best move was.
Chances of him getting
What happened
5,
here last
6, 7,
First,
pretty low.
look around, figure out what
You
happened.
could easily, I think, if he survives, get a 4. I think a 4 is an easy call for Josh if he survives this vote.
I ended up drinking alone. So who brought that second
If he
glass?
survives and Team Defender wins HOH and he's safe for the week, he's a 4, probably.
Okay.
If he survives and he's a pawn again, or the target again, he's a 2 or a 3. If he leaves, you've lost everything.
Did I
So
do this?
here's the thing: you shouldn't
Sorry, Nick.
put your money on Josh. This is a bad buy. This is a bad buy
Oh,
because
we can actually play Pac-Man?
there is a small chance that you could make.
Oh, I forgot, this is Bandai Namco,
65%
isn't it, published?
sure,
So I guess they probably got the rights
but
to it.
a
didn't they?
much bigger chance.
Oh,
that
you can't.
lose
Oh, that's dumb.
everything if you
You
go
only
in
use
on
a
Josh.
stick? It's terrible.
So it's just not worth it to me. Even if you're banking on like a 19%, there are better people to bank on that. Jed is a better buy. If you want 16%, go in on Jed and hope he gets that 6, right? Or sorry, is it a 6 or a
Ah, fuck.
Jed? Was it Jed? Somebody was a Beth. Yeah, Beth is a better. If you
Fuck.
want that 16%,
Oh my god, no.
probably
Whatever,
the 6
we're good.
again.
Missing and being chased by ghosts.
Don't go in on Josh. Kiefer at a 5. He barely made that 5. It's again carried by me and Asia here. He definitely did some stuff yesterday, but it was not great stuff. It was not great.
You might have fallen
I
off
do
the
not have a
table.
lot of faith in Kiefer as a
Some
player,
people got rowdy last night.
and his position in the game is fine, but not nearly
Really?
where it should be, considering the
happened
fact that he's
yesterday,
in
or
the
was it
majority
always like
alliance. I don't see Kiefer going up from a 5 personally. I think he'll either stay a 5 or more likely move down to something like a 4 even. I think Kiefer's a bad buy.
What else am I supposed to do then?
I just don't see a scenario where he moves up to a 6. I just don't. After what we saw yesterday,
These were sent
he
scattering.
flipped the house
Someone thrown into them?
and then decided, actually, never mind. In a way that got him caught. Now, here's the thing. I think people forget, but in the early days of Big Brother Canada 7, you did have a mad scramble.
There we go, Valhalla patch
When
installed.
Mackie was on the
Oh, it's actually considered version
There were
3?
votes flipping back and forth constantly. We didn't know what was going to happen up until the eviction happened because it was flipping so much. All because Anthony was just kind of like, I don't know, maybe we should do this. And he would flip the vote. And then he would flip it back. And at the time we were like, what a season! These pretty boys are never going to stick together. They're so dysfunctional. What is Anthony doing? He's lost his mind.
Rock is saying the pretty boys
And then
were the determining factor.
look
on
where that
but
went, right?
whatever.
I'm not saying that Kiefer is going to turn into Anthony. No. What Anthony was doing
What am
was
I doing
impressive,
right now then?
even though it was messy. Kiefer was just messy. But I thought it was worth pointing out. I think Kiefer's a bad buy. Kyle's at a 5 right now. Part of the reason he's at a 5 is because he's in some danger next week. Kyle is the kind of player who, he's not a 5 player. He's undervalued in terms of like his ability as a player, but his position in the game is holding him back. So So Kyle's the kind of player where if...
What am I supposed to be doing?
It's not just a game. When every move feels like a power play.
Yeah.
It's opened my eyes.
Hey, whatever happened with Big Brother Australia? Wasn't there supposed to be like a cast, like them starting to leak the cast out? Which, bro, I fucking hate that Australia does this. They use all the fucking time with all these cast announcements, Big Brother, with Survivor, where like they announce like a couple people before the season, but they don't announce like the full fucking cast. It's like, what the fuck are we doing?
Liquid Plumber versus Home Spa Clog. Oh my gosh.
What am I doing right now in this game, though? Like, I really don't know.
She's about to go.
How do you top the perfect cup of Dunkin' Cold Brew? With the perfect top of sweet cold foam. For a velvety smoothness and feeling you just can't top. Sip into a medium chocolate stout or classic cold brew with sweet cold foam for $3. Order ahead plus earn rewards. America runs on Dunkin'.
Wins the HOH that keeps Kyle safe, keeps Rose safe, and they're able to really actually form some kind of counter alliance.
Yeah, what am I supposed to
Kyle
do
is
with
the
this
kind of
one?
person that will go
Yeah,
up
maybe?
6, 7, could happen. He's easily a 7 player, I think. Kyle in a good position gets a 7. Kyle in a bad position at a 5. Kyle on the block looking like he's going home, 2 or 3. He has the most amount of variance, I think, of any player on the board right now. He's smack dab in the middle and he could go in any direction. There are a lot of people that would put him on the block and would target him. Basically, you look at Team Defender, I think Toya, I do think Jed, I think Keith,
What else
maybe.
is there?
You know, there are a lot of people that could put him on the block and put him in some danger. So that's risky. He could win power, or some of his friends could win power, and then he would be safe, and he could maybe consolidate that power. That could go up. Or they could stalemate, and he could just sort of like slide for the week if, you know, somebody random wins HOH and they do something random.
I don't get what
go
I'm
after-
doing.
Maybe Josh stays and they go after Josh again. Something weird like that. There's just a lot of different ways that this can go. So for me, Kyle is a risky buy. If you really want to play
There's that many people now?
risky, Kyle could be where you want to go. Obviously, going up to a 7 is 32%. We know that like Tina and Ty have a little bit higher odds, or a little bit higher percentages when it comes to possible increases, with maybe a little less risk, but we'll talk about them when we get there. Games, Spader, thank you for the 3rd month. Appreciate that. If Kyle does well next week and you don't get it
here.
at 5, you're never going to figure it for yourself. That's the thing. That
It
is
might
the
have
thing.
fallen off the table.
Kyle is a
Seen some
risky
people got
buy.
rowdy
This is
last
one
night.
that I just have to leave up to your judgment. Where do you feel like Kyle will land next week? He is somebody that, again, is capable of getting a high rating. It's his circumstances that will really dictate
Oh,
where he
come
falls.
on. How do I progress the story?
Right.
There we go,
Who knocked
finally.
this clock off the pillar?
We've also got
Please.
Toya.
Seems there was a
That.
fight. It could explain
Toya
the blood on
currently
my
at a
shirt.
7.
Does it mean that I was involved?
It's
won't be
so
able to
funny. I
find
was
out
so
without
close to
more
going all in on
evidence.
Toya, too. Thank God I didn't.
She got straight 7s. Audience gave her 7. I gave her 7. Melissa and Asia both gave her 7s. This is an interesting one. She got caught. She got caught by Kyle and Ro. Kyle and Ro are coming for her.
Definitely not the way
That's
Nick would have
dangerous.
wished for.
If Ro stays, she's in a bad spot.
What a mess. Hope this wasn't me.
And obviously, by the end of the week, I was
He's-
off of
That
that.
alone
Like,
Wonder why it's
is
here.
not great.
for me, it was Toya or Tina. Which one to go off
Now,
on?
if she's okay next week, she survives, I could see her staying at a 7. I could also see her falling to a 6. She ends up on the block, maybe as a target. She's definitely moving down. This is definitely a risky buy. This one is like Jed for me, in that there's obviously something here, but we're still probably maxed out at this 29%. with a 7, and more likely we're moving down. Many of the people in the Sunsetters are in a worse position today than they were in the round table.
Looked like it might have been kicked.
It's just hard to look at them and say they're good buys.
Ruined.
So that's a
They were
risky
knocked
buy
over,
for
then
Toya.
stepped on.
Nobody has been a good buy yet for me.
Could be the same
Nobody.
blood that was on my shirt.
I don't know if we're gonna get to one. Safe buy is I guess what it is. Rohan. He could go home. He could be going home right now. They could be voting him out this very moment.
DG.
Fuck, how many
If he
clues are there?
stays,
Was he
sure, he
involved
could
in
get a
whatever
6 or a 7.
happened?
Sure.
Wouldn't
Is
surprise
it worth
me.
it? No. This is a bad buy. And here's the thing. Every once
What's
in a while,
left?
somebody who makes a bad buy is going to get some great profit from it. But I can't recommend it. Can't do it. Tara. Currently at a 4. Tara's actually an interesting one. She could end up on the block. There are people that are looking at her for blocking potential. But she's unlikely to be a target. She's already at a low 4.
Looks like they were knocked over. Then
As in
stepped
4 is
on.
kind of a low rating.
Could be the same blood
She
that
could
was
easily
on my
stay at a
shirt.
4. I don't really see her dropping to a 2 or a 3 unless she
Pot was
completely
completely
implodes on the block
shattered.
or something.
Looked like it might have been
I
kicked.
could see her moving up to a 5. I think it's possible.
I think she's gonna be like a 6.
With everyone else screwing up, I mean, her position isn't terrible. She's back in with Kyle and Rowe. People want to blame her for things, but it's not like not actually working. I don't think she's in the worst spot in the world. Problem is that there's a lot of risk here. Again, she could end up on the block. She could just stay at 4. You'd lose 5%. In the profit potential, 15%, 25 at best. It's not huge. I'd say risky buy. This is a risky one.
I feel like 100% he had to go in on Tina, right?
All right, now we're getting serious. Tina. Tina got an 8 from everyone. 8 average. She's
What else is there?
the highest rated player and is tied for the highest stock price of the week. If she stays at an 8, she will have a very high profit margin. 39% return on investment. That's great. Will she stay in 8?
Probably not.
Is another question. I, since the roundtable, have been disappointed in Tina's gameplay. I was higher
I think
on
she'll
her
go down to 7.
Tuesday night than I am Thursday night. Regardless of circumstances, right? Like on Tuesday, she was in a pretty good spot, and I thought she was a pretty good player.
Nick would have wished for.
Now she's in a slightly worse spot, and I think she's a slightly worse player. So, if I'm trying to predict what am I going to give Tina next week, I could easily see myself giving her a 6. I could also see myself giving her a 7 if she does well. I think right now I'd give her a 6. Based on the last couple days, I'd give her a 6. I'd say the indecision is not working for you. You are not communicating enough with Kyle and Rowe. You took Kiefer's information as gospel, and you didn't question it, and that caused a lot of things to happen. Kyle and Rowe lost some trust in you. But then this morning, she came back a little bit. She's mended some of those fences, but I don't know if she'll be able to continue to do it. So the game is still early. I think Tina is the kind of player that can learn and get better. So I don't necessarily know that I would stay at a 6. But here's the thing. She could also lose Rowe. She could out Rowe. She could rat him out. The vote could flip. Rowe could go. Kyle could be pissed at her. She loses Kyle and Rowe. And now her spot is even worse. And my faith in her as a player is even worse. So would she hit a 5? I think that's unlikely. I don't think that she is going to be put on the block by anybody. And even if she was put on the block, I think she would be very safe.
Let's see if I can see a guide.
But I don't think a 6 is out of the realm of possibility.
I think she's gonna
7
get a
is
7.
probably a little more likely. I would not necessarily expect an 8 unless things go really, really well for her. So, with that in mind, I do think that Tina is a safe buy. Is she the best buy? I don't know. I think, like I said, 15% is the most likely outcome here. She gets some bonuses for being so highly rated. So, if she falls to a 7, you're still making money. She's still a good player in a good position. But expecting an 8 might be a little optimistic. But pretty safe. Again, Tina doesn't have some of the pitfalls that many of the other players do. In that, who puts her on the block? Not Jed, not Toya, not Kiefer. 3 of the 5.
Bender, take one. Tonight's matchup, me versus an ugly fender bender. If I can eke out a win, it's gonna be a miracle, baby.
Mr. Vitale, it wouldn't be a miracle because Geico gives you a team of experts to help manage your plan.
It's gonna be a nail biter.
No, the Geico team is there for you 24/7.
Geico is awesome, baby. Oh. Too much?
I think we got it.
Yeah,
Thanks.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Geico.
Okay.
Great service
There's
without all
a
the
cat near
drama.
the
People
jukebox.
that even have the
I'm looking at
Get
there's
us
7 clues here.
$700
I
this
need
month.
to...
While listening to music,
Oh, what?
filling out the
Didn't
crossword,
I do that before, did it?
or brainstorming what to make for dinner, and help save lives. Become a CSL plasma donor
Or
today.
is that it?
ability to put her on the block.
I think I've seen enough to put together the pieces of what happened last night.
There we go.
Stressed out?
Just gotta think
Time
it
to
through.
refresh your rhythm with Trident.
Mind Palace.
Pump it up while your feet are stumped.
Trident Go, the fresh chew to refresh your rhythm.
Okay.
Absolutely wouldn't. Then you
At least I
have
can always count on this place to make
Braden.
sense.
This is feeling very
either
heavy
Ro
rain.
or Josh. Josh wouldn't put her on the block.
Like, it feels like a
Ro
mix of
wouldn't put her
Ethan
on
Mars and Norman Jaden.
Work out what happened without the
Whichever one of them
blackout.
stayed just wouldn't do it.
I just need to think
Braden
it through
is the
logically,
only person who
throw
could
out any
theoretically
possibilities.
put her on the block. He could put her on the
Only the
block
truth
next
is
to
left.
Tara. Maybe.
I know I got
Even if
into
he
a
did
fight,
that,
but it could
Tara
have played
is
out
easily
in
going
many
home.
different ways. I have to think it
Very,
through.
very low
Find
odds,
out
in
what
my
really
opinion,
happened.
that Tina ends next
My
week
memory
on the
ends
block.
here. But there's 2 glasses.
And even lower
Who's here
odds
with me?
that she is somehow going home next week. So the big,
I was drinking on my
big
own,
drops are
and someone approached
not there
me.
as much.
I can't remember who it was, but I know
So,
we got into a fight. Obviously.
safe buy, but not necessarily the best buy. We also have Ty, also at an 8. He barely made this 8, but he did get the 8.
If I figure out how
Ty
the
is
fight went,
another
I should
player
figure out who my
That
assailant was.
I would drop down. I mean, Ty, in my opinion, has played even worse than Tina in the last couple of days. My faith in Ty as a player was a little more tentative than my faith in Tina as a player was on Tuesday, but his position got him the same rating.
Wait,
His
what?
position has worsened,
Broken glass,
and my faith in
damaged
him as a
seat.
player has
It's
worsened.
possible the fight
So-
made its way over here.
I'd probably still give him a 6 right now, but 5 isn't out of the realm of possibility. I think he's making a pretty big mistake with what's happening right now. So, I also don't think he'll maintain an 8. He could also hit a 7, but I don't think, I like, similar to Tina, I don't think 6 is out of the realm of possibility at all.
Something that hit the pillar
Not
with
only
enough
that,
force
but
to
I
make the
could
clock
see
fall.
him up on the block
Person
if
thrown
Rose
into the
stays
pillar
and
would
goes
do it.
after him.
The jukebox
If
is
he's
not
up
in
on
the
the block
same
next
place.
to
Maybe it was
Beth,
involved in the fight somehow.
that's very bad.
That could be it.
I do think
But I
Beth would
still have
go,
to
but
figure
it'd
out
be
who
very
was
bad
sitting
for
next
his
to me.
rating. He'd be down at like a 4 or 5 probably. I think that Ty is a bit more of a risky buy than even Tina. I think Tina is still in the superior position. Now, that said, if Tina blows up her own spot to take out Ro, and Josh stays, then Ty will probably be in the slightly superior position. And
Pharmacist
then Ty might be the safer buy.
Hope I didn't start picking on the elderly.
Now, I do still think that Ty is a safe buy,
That's Dennis's.
but
definitely
it's
wanted to
kind
shut
of
him
going
up
to
last
be between whether or not you think
Pharmacist's
Ro or
business
Josh
card.
goes home.
Hope I didn't
tonight.
start picking on the
I
elderly.
do think that will make a difference. And I don't think he's as safe as Tina, nor do I think he has as much potential for profit as Tina,
Joel's
necessarily.
cap. Maybe he provoked me again after I had a few.
I think that Tina's probably the better buy overall, but not necessarily, right? You never know. Victoria got straight 4s this week. Victoria's in a strange place here where I still just don't know where she stands. She got caught ratting out Toya and is now definitely an option to be put on the block next week. Could easily go
If the
home
fight had
as
ended
somebody
here,
that's
the
expendable.
bar wouldn't be such a mess.
There's not a lot here for Victoria. I think she's one of the few players that she could really impress us next week, and then my faith in her as a player could skyrocket because just I don't have enough of a read on her right now. But she could also further disappoint me as a player, and her position is not great, and it's hard to see where it improves. So I'd say risky buy
Broken glass,
here
damaged seat.
for
It's possible the
Victoria,
fight made its way over here.
with maybe a 6 being your highest upside potential. So that's what we got.
Something hit the
Those are
pillar
all the
with enough
players.
force to make the clock fall. The person thrown into the pillar would do
I
it.
believe we did bad buy for Austin, risky buy
One
for
hell of a
Beth,
mess. This could
bad
definitely
buy
be
for
the
Braden,
result.
risky for Jed, bad for Josh, bad for Kiefer, risky for Kyle, risky for Toya, bad for Rohan, risky for Tara, safe for Tina and Ty, and then risky for Vic.
Looks like not even the memorial.
So
board was
obviously that
spared
means
by the
that
brawl.
Tina and Ty are the safest bets right now. Tina probably being the slightly safer bet. But again, that does not mean the best bet or the best buy.
Jukebox is not
In
in
fact,
the same place.
if I'm looking at this, I don't think that Tina or Ty will be the best buy this week.
Yeah, obviously they won't, but I do think they're safe.
Because I really do feel like 7 is probably their limit, so they'll probably hit 15%. I think that one of these riskier buys, somebody like Toya could stay at 29. Somebody like Beth could
If the
stay at
fight had
16.
ended here, the bar
Maybe
wouldn't be
even
such
move
a
up to
mess.
7. Somebody like
do I-
Kyle could jump up to a 6. Or even a 7. I think those are the places, like one of those people will probably end up as the best buy. But the other ones will draw. And so there's a lot more risk there, right? I'm going to guess that that most people will buy Tina. Tina will probably be the most popular pick for the week. So
Looks like
keep that in mind as well. Not only is she the safer buy, but you're probably not going to get much of an edge over other players if you go in on the safest buy, Tina. Now, it's only the first week. You don't need to get an edge over the other players. Sometimes you want to play safe.
Doesn't
I
fit
generally play
what
it
I
safe.
found.
I tend to do pretty well. So the safe plays are usually pretty good, I think. But I didn't win
that's
last time.
Dennis's. I
People
definitely
who'd
wanted
made
to shut
slightly
him. I
riskier
have the complete
buys
picture.
won. If you're really playing for the win, you kind of have to play for the win every round, I think. So
You know, the man who talks to himself has
that's
an idiot
kind of where
for
you're at.
knowing.
It's all about
Dennis.
which players do you have
I see
faith
why you
in?
have so
Do you
many
have a read on
friends left
them that
Yeah.
is slightly different
You
than mine?
would
Do you
know
feel
about
like
that.
this is going to happen? Do you
At
feel like
least
you
my
have an
best
idea?
friend never
I
slept with
feel
my
like
ex.
I know who's going to be evicted tonight. I feel like I know what's going to happen with next week's nominations.
Backstabbing asshole.
You can go on that reach, or you can look at it in terms of how much risk am I willing to take. Do I want to go safe? Do I want to go risky? Do I want to go somewhere in the middle? Do I want to maybe put some money in on Tina for a safe kind of hopefully 15% return, and then put some other money in on like Beth or Kyle or something?
You have no idea. No one in this town
You could do that as well.
What are you talking
Do whatever
about?
you want.
I'll show you. Not here.
But there you go.
Meet me later.
That's what we got. I'd say Toya's risky because you have people like Kyle and Rowe coming after her, and if they stay, that's not great.
Ethan is coming back
she
in
could
through
end
the
up on
front.
the block.
At least I think it's him. You think it's him? I can't actually tell if you can't tell. What I know
think
for
we
sure
will
is
get two
if it's
returning players
Ethan,
inserted into the
he
game
may not be
tonight.
happy to
Previous
find you
BB
here.
Can House
So
guys
I
seem to
strongly
believe it's happening.
suggest you leave.
I've been
If you
saying I
well,
don't think it's
tell him
happening.
you're here to apologize about last night. You trashed up it. I don't have time to lose explaining myself to Ethan.
And I hold to that. I don't know who in the alumni community is saying that they think it will happen, but that's not something that I've heard, and I just don't think it will.
Maybe we should have stayed.
But I could absolutely be wrong. Absolutely could be wrong. The thing that always gets me is the web page with the 2 extra spots. That's the most convincing thing for me, for sure. But I don't know. This is also like, at this point, they would have had to be in quarantine sequester for a month, waiting to get in. Why would they wait this long to put them in the game? Why not just put them right in? Doesn't really make any sense. You know? Because obviously they would have had to be in sequester by the time the cast was released. And they're not gonna just like throw in the cast, and then they're gonna have like not only just like a couple of extra alumni, but like 2 extra alumni, but they would have had to have alternates to the alumni.
Reggie Miller chose to bubble at Wendy's so he could wake up with the official breakfast of March Madness.
Reggie!
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm good
Chose
listening to this.
somewhere else.
I come back on the town's Miners' Day celebration. Well, you always did have great timing. No time to dwell on that.
Actually, I forgot about that. I was gonna look up who's the main actor here.
Focus. You tried Dennis's cell phone. No answer. So what now? There's that coffee date with Anna. Anna might have to wait. I want to see if anyone has seen Dennis first. I don't know, I'll play it by ear. Just remember she's expecting you. She's extending the olive branch. Don't drop it.
Yeah, no real big names
Still have time
in
before
this
meeting
cast
Anna.
outside
Might
of
as well ask if anyone saw Dennis.
Robin Atkin Downs. Yeah, main actor, I've never heard of him. He's done voice acting for like minor roles in the past. You know, like a lot of like additional voices. Oh, we can run. Interesting. Jade Raymond's now the leader of a new game development team working on an original IP for PlayStation. Interesting. I was gonna know who Jade Raymond is. She's the one of the original producers of Assassin's Creed, of AC1 and 2. Since then, she worked for Stadia, right? Which that was something. I forgot, what else did she do? I feel like she did something else.
Asshole.
That's enough.
Oh, she's also really attractive too. So that's something. But yeah, so oh,
Kathy and Hugh were
helped
both at the
build
wake.
Ubisoft
She talked to
Toronto. Yeah, that's what she worked on. Splinter Cell Blacklist. That's what she left Assassin's Creed to do. Yeah, Ubisoft Toronto.
Bug made that for Mother's Day years ago. And Kathy
And
still
she was
keeps it
executive
with her.
producer on Watch Dogs. And that was the last thing she did for. Oh no, she did the Epic Quest for Epic, or the Mighty Quest for Epic Loot. Never even heard of that game. But that was a Ubisoft game, I guess. Yes, but mainly she was Assassin's Creed.
She looks like those
That's
doctors
like
you see
the
on
thing she's most
commercials.
like. She was like one of the spokesperson for Assassin's Creed when it was announced.
Ah, Samuel. Sorry about Richard. He's always a little on edge. I'm surprised to see you up and about after the night you had. Honestly. I was afraid you'd end up like your friend. You were quite...
Yeah, formed Motive Studios. The ones that do some of the Star Wars games for EA. She was going to help Annie Hennig make the
Yeah.
that Star Wars game she was going to do, but obviously that didn't come out. And then
I would say not.
And yeah, she moved to Google to do Stadia.
To prevent you from following that other man outside. And I tried to get you to hand over your keys.
Interesting though, they're making a new IP for
Sorry about that.
Sony.
The man I had a fight with, Dennis. Have you seen him today?
Seen him? No. No, can't say I have.
Thanks anyways.
That article you wrote, it's done this town a lot of good.
It's pretty incredible that Jade Raymond is someone that is like relatively well known in the video game community, despite her having not really done that much. It's like most things that she's worked on like haven't actually come to fruition. It's like she's obviously worked on Assassin's Creed 1 and 2.
I'd offer you something for the hangover, but I find in some
She
cases,
worked on like
time is the
Splinter Cell Blacklist, which was like not that big of a game. Like it's not like it did ridiculously well by any means.
A pill pusher who doesn't want to push pills.
She worked on, was producer on Watch Dogs, but I don't think she was that like notable person for that. And then since then, it's like she's been proposed to work on other things, but like has never actually done anything else. Like she's been like working on, like she worked for EA to make Star Wars games, but didn't actually ever make an actual Star Wars game. She moved to Stadia to do stuff for Stadia. She never actually ended up doing anything for Stadia. So it's like she hasn't had an actual game come out in 6 years.
Not in.
So it's kind of funny how that's the case with Jade Raymond.
No, you'd make sales, but you don't get to know anyone ever. Plus, if I'm being honest, I always imagined I'd retire in a small mountain town. Samuel, I saw you talking to Walter. Can you ask him something from me?
What do you want from him?
I was hoping the Basswood Jungle could run a piece about me. You see, some of the older folks see me as an outsider still.
Can't say I'm surprised. I'll think about it.
I really appreciated the chat, but I'm afraid...
Yeah, we'll end after this episode, and then I think we'll do one more for today. Oh, Twin Mirror episode 1 just uploaded, so that's something. Yo, enter. Next episode continue on for now. Thank you for watching.